to help people achieve the life that they desire by breaking through perceived barriers, finding their inner wisdom, peace, strength, and clarity of mind. She's extraordinarily passionate, empathetic, validating, and inspiring. She focuses on practical guidance and the removal of stumbling blocks, detailing a wealth of the steps necessary to help manifest positive changes in their lives. Corporate heads, household heads, they all come to her for her prized honesty, unique abilities, and candor and professionalism. You can find her on, is it Channel 5, as the Happy Medium, where she's frequently on, and they just love her energy, and we love her energy here. She is starting a new effort of kind of a consolidated series to make herself available to people on a more intimate level throughout the weeks and months, and she may speak to that. It's a new series that she's just launching. So Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, please help me welcome Jodi Livon.
Hello, can you hear me? What a gorgeous day. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy I'm here. I'm so happy you're here. What's fun about this place is I'm never worried about how many people are going to come, whether it's 100, whether it's 20. It doesn't matter to me because you're meant to be here and you're here. And I love connecting with the energy of everybody here and this space and all of the good things that have happened in this space. And I believe people come here to absorb that good energy. So I want to help ramp up that good energy and radiate it out even more so everybody leaves on a higher plane, if you will. And if you're standing in here or sitting in here, you probably know exactly what that means. So you can hear me, right? All right. So when you were little, do you remember how you used to dress? Do you remember how your parents perhaps dressed you? I was dressed like this. And I saw this dress and I thought, oh, not really my cut, but I'm going to wear it because it makes me feel good. So I intentionally put it on because it makes me feel good. And we're going to talk about that kind of intention. But I wrote something at 2 a.m. I was so convinced I wasn't going to write anything and just talk because this is the best subject ever. And then I was given like this insight, like there's a certain breathing technique, or several of them, that are so fun to do, and you probably know them. Who does yoga? Yeah, you probably know them, and you're probably going to think, well, it's kind of rudimentary, but I'm doing it anyway because I think it's really fun to do. So before we do spiritual work or talk about things spiritual or walk into Target or get in your car or take a walk, it's really good to protect your energy because there's so many wonderful things floating around, and then there's some things that aren't as wonderful. So you want to make sure that you are in the lane of receiving as much wonderful as you can. And these are, I have put together many ways on my own, and I take pieces of things that I've learned to help people do that, to help me do that, to be honest. I'm talking about things that I know. I'm not talking about things that I learned, although I've studied a ton. It's sort of an overlap of what I've learned and what I've created or what's been given to me intuitively. So this is a great way to protect your energy and bring in more good energy. So if you're comfortable sitting with your legs uncrossed, and if you want to cross your legs, that's fine. Inhale and exhale slowly through your nose. And listen to the sound of your breath as it moves in and through you. Then close your eyes and take your right hand and close your right nostril using your right thumb and inhale gently through your left nostril for the count of 4. Then close your left nostril with your ring finger on your right hand and release your right nostril and exhale gently through your right nostril for a count of 4. And then just repeat on the other side. Close your left nostril using your ring finger and inhale gently through your right nostril for a count of 4. Close your right nostril with your thumb and release your left nostril, exhaling gently through your left nostril for a count of 4. Then just listen to yourself breathe. You can keep your eyes closed. and gently press your feet into the ground. Move your feet back and forth so you can feel the soles of your feet. Maybe they'll tingle. And then press your feet further for its great grounding. And then lift your shoulders and maybe do little circles with them to the right, then left, or forward and back. And listen to yourself breathe. Inhale deeply for the count of 6. And then exhale fully for the count of 12 if you can. And then do that another time. Inhale fully for the count of 6 and exhale for the count of 12. And then just listen to yourself breathe. Press your feet into the ground, raise your hands, and gently act like you're climbing a ladder. Then bring your hands into your lap and touch the tip of your index finger to the tip of your thumb. And then just listen to yourself inhale and exhale, and listen to the sound of your breath as it moves in and through you. Gently inhale and exhale. And then say your full name to yourself a couple times. And then press your feet into the ground, and as you do, imagine a beautiful iridescent white light made of divine energy that is pure healing. Feel it, as it moves up and through the soles of your feet, up through your body, filling every cell with light. And as you inhale again, that beautiful healing light comes in and through you. Then inhale again, and it comes in and through you, filling you with divine protection. And as you exhale, comes out the top of your head and encircles you in an egg-shaped glow. So as you inhale, this divine, beautiful energy comes up and through you. And as you exhale, it comes over the top of your head and surrounds you in an egg-shaped glow. And nothing can penetrate that except for love. May all the kindness you have shown throughout your life encircle you in a ring of protection, and may the light and love in the universe enfold you in its divine embrace. You can open your eyes. How was that? Do you guys feel shorter? Seriously, I always say this, but you kind of pop right back into your body. Of course, as I do this exercise, I do it before I do readings. You'll notice I always have tissue. It starts to open me up psychically, and so dead people still grab my nose. True story, not allergies, dead people grab my nose, like, I'm here. And I say, I am too, but that's not what I'm doing today. So, living intentionally, is this not the best subject? I mean, who here has not thought to themselves, okay, I need to make intentional moves? But to think about it consciously every day of your life, just to be present in the moment, makes a huge difference in our lives. Huge difference. It makes your body healthier because you're taking care of it more because you're concentrating on it. You're not always floating above it. And it helps you be more insightful. So does the exercise we just did. And it helps you get what you want out of life because you are intentionally doing things and you're not just banging around responding to everything around you. Who has had a day like that? I've had days like that. I've had more than days like that where you're just banging around responding to everything, and then you can come back to center and start to just respond in a way for your body and your spirit and your mind that helps you move in the direction you want to go, no matter where you are, no matter what's happening. My dad, may he rest in peace, I used to wonder why my grandma always said, may they rest in peace, and now I get it, because they can hear you. Used to always say, you should be happy, you should be happy, you should be happy, and I always felt like I was failing when I wasn't. And he wanted me to be happy. He grew up in a time where his family was very, very poor. There was a lot of anti-everything in the area he lived in, a lot of fighting. And he wanted his kids to be happy. So it's taken me a long time to understand what that means. I am the happy medium because I go from one area to the next area inside of me, and I've learned to bring it back into a solid center. What is happiness? Part of happiness is getting what you want, but how do you do that? You have to intentionally go for it. So again, right back to living intentionally, making those choices that you want to make. Making choices now that will bring you somewhere lovely later, right? I watch as my kids make these choices, and it's so hard to not say anything. Are you watching, children? Because you want to tell them, do it this way, but they have to do it their way, and we have to do it our way. And we always have our soul to guide us. And when you live intentionally, when you are present in the moment, your soul guides you. To live intentionally is to live consciously. To live intentionally is to harmonize with your soul. I'm taking voice PT for this. This is because I had chemo and did all these things that my voice changed. So can we just pretend I'm Lucille Ball when it happens and that I'm funny? Let's just pretend. Intentional living is knowing that every thought, every deed, and every moment holds an energy, and that energy flows into the universe. It never disappears, though it can be transformed. When we are on the other side, we answer for the energy we added to the world. Living intentionally means making conscious, deliberate choices about how you spend your time and live your life, including your thoughts. This includes your thoughts. Because does anybody ever take a trip in their mind and go places that's not so nice? Bringing yourself back, to say that's just not the trip I want to go on is very powerful. And knowing that you've made that trip or that you're starting to make that trip is empowering. That means you're ready to start turning it around because you already have, just by knowing it. And if you don't know it and you figure it out later, that's all right too. It's just bring yourself back to center, because to live intentionally is to harmonize with your soul. And your soul is going to give you the answers you need to help you live the life you came here to live. Doesn't mean there's not going to be bumps. Earth, there's bumps. So being happy means that you go through the bumps and you keep moving to get to the other side of the bump. And sometimes when you're presented with a bump that you never can get over, you just go through it. Go through whatever it is you're going through, and you make some peace with wherever that is. I think that we get really stubborn, and we want to stomp our feet when things don't go the way we want them to, when someone crosses over, when we lose someone, when we don't get the job, we don't get the house, we don't get the apartment, we don't have the relationship, we don't have the health. It feels like it's all wrong. But I feel very strongly from the information I've received from 50-some years of doing this work. I say 40 on my website, but it's 50. We just won't talk about that. Is that it's all meant to be what it is. And I don't mean when a bad thing happens, it's meant to be. I mean, like, it's what we do with what we get that has the power. We're gonna go through things. It's just the way it is. And some things are gonna be sad, and some things are gonna be joyful, and that's why they say hang on to that moment, because it's gonna pass, no matter what it is. When I think of my happy place, who thinks of this place as their happy place? Anybody? Me too. This is one of my happy places. When I think of it, melding energy with the people here and being able to talk about a subject or subjects that means everything to me. Of course, my kids mean everything to me, so does Jason, my husband, but this is my life. My life is to help people get in touch with their soul so they can have the life that they really want. And living intentionally is a huge part of it. So this is fun. It's just fun. So there's benefits to living intentionally. Clarifies your focus, it creates fulfillment, everything I've already said, and it helps reduce worry. Because right when you're right where you are, You can only worry about right where you are. And if right where you are is really awful, you know that you're not going to be in it forever, that there's going to be another side to it. So there's some power in that. There's a lot of personal growth. It has to do with a lot of personal growth. And again, harmonizing with your soul. Here are some signs. Signs that you live intentionally. Oftentimes I make them silly, I didn't. You align your actions and your values. You're mindful of your decisions. You focus on what matters. Maybe not what's going on in the moment, you deal with it, but you focus on what matters. You consciously shape your life rather than passively reacting to circumstances. You take responsibility, God bless you. You take responsibility for creating the life you desire, and you opt for a mindful presence which leads to conscious awareness. I really am almost done with what I've written, but I like it because I think it is. When I write, I channel, so it was written really for you. To live intentionally is to know that everything you do and everything you say, including every thought you think and every reaction you have, holds an energy, and that energy stays with you forever. And as I said, when we are on the other side, we answer for the energy we contributed. Whatever that energy is, we answer for it. Not like someone's shaking their fingers saying, look what you did, but we answer for it. And I actually find that empowering because I've made some mistakes and I really do try to own up to them, but I also have done really good things. And so I get to glory in that too. And I glory in it right now. I mean, I enjoy it right now. So there's so many things people have written, brilliant authors over the years, over thousands of years. You can find it if you are into biblical study. You can find some of these beautiful things. If you can find it when you just put amazing quotes on the internet. Let me know if you find one of mine. There are people that write, in my opinion, often do it because they want to reach other people and let you know you're not alone, you're not alone, you're not alone. I want to help empower you. Or I'm lonely and I feel like I want to reach out and I'm doing it through my writing. There are so many ways that we can reach out and be empowered. You just have to choose them. You choose them by choosing what lane you want to drive in. Where do you want to be? Do you want to be on automatic pilot? You're not even in a car that has automatic pilot? Or do you want to think about things and plan your life, like your day? Does anybody wake up in the morning and like do a prayer or do a meditation or say affirmations? Super powerful. A very advanced crowd, not a surprise. To wake up in the morning and to say something that's affirming for your life sets the stage for your whole day. I'm sure I've talked about this over the years. I had incredibly low self-esteem as a kid. And actually through adulthood, I've had bouts of it. After breast cancer, trust me, I had low self-esteem again. And then I climbed my way back into feeling better about myself. One of the ways that I have told people to do this over the years, and that I did it myself, is by knowing that my words have so much power. And as a young person in my 20s, I decided to not look in the mirror and go, ugh, and like gag and insult everything about me. I decided to look in the mirror and find something I liked. So it started out with, well, at least my eyebrows look like they're two caterpillars kissing instead of fighting. And then it moved, which was a step up, trust me. And then it moved to, I like when I smile, I feel good. And then it moved to, I'm going to spend the entire morning thinking and saying nice things about myself. And I did. Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life, I grabbed that book. And I repeated a lot of her mantras, her affirmations. And then I started to write my own and share them with clients, and I noticed how that changed me. Chemically changed me. You know, before you have surgery, you're supposed to like be in a happy place. A lot of very good nurses will try to get you in a good place, right? I had many surgeries within a very short period of time, and I was always reaching for something good to think about. A, if it was the last thing I ever thought in my life, because I came kind of close to crossing over, then I wanted it to be a good thing. And B, then my body had a really good chance of surviving because I was feeding it everything I could. And I have lived my life before that and after that doing that every day. Saying really nice things to myself and catching myself when I say something awful. There's not a person in this room who doesn't say awful things to themselves about themselves. Don't beat yourself up. That you see it is really magnificent. Intentionally think to yourself, I am going to turn that around. I'm not going to discount myself or what's happening. I'm going to turn it around with a better thought. And the more you do that, the more you think to yourself, wow, traffic is really awful, but it's moving, and I'm in a car that works. I'm going to be there on time. And if I'm late, it's not my fault. I left in plenty of time. It's all right. Or it's a gorgeous day out today, and I have to work, but I have a window, and I can look. And when I'm done working, I will go outside. I make that promise to myself. Or I'm trying to be on TikTok. I just did a video because I'm releasing this series. I'm trying all these different things. And the thing, I work with clients. I'm not working one-on-one with clients as a rule right now, but I've worked with clients for so long that who hasn't struggled with a breakup, right? So I said, if someone lets you go, go. And I was like having fun with it. And I'm like, there's that same guy. I want to know, where's Gary? There's that same guy that always jumps in my head. He's dead. He's right there. And he belongs here. Who's been here the longest in this building other than Gary? Commercial break. Commercial break. There's a man with it's like a whitish hair. There's like a little yellow to it. And he's got a little scruff, and this could have been before he died, and he loved it here. He had something to do with this building maybe many years ago, and he must have stood over here. Maybe he played the piano. Does anybody know who he is? Dead person talking. I don't usually do this, but I'm doing it today because I'm Lucille Ball. He jumps in me almost every time I'm here. He comes in. Who played music here for many, many years? I think it might have been because it wasn't that piano, and it sounds more, and I know this really wasn't a church, or maybe for a short period, but it sounds like that kind of music. He's here anyway, and he's glorying in everybody here, and I don't know why he interrupted me, but he wanted me to okay. Because there's at least 3 people here who grew up with a lot of religion and like to be in the presence of a lot of other people, but aren't comfortable with part of how they grew up. And the music was a big part of it, and there are 3 people here that were actually thinking that this morning. So the dead person says, and I trust good energy. So, what was I saying? This is what happens, they jump in my head. Oh, about the words you speak, right? The words you speak and the thoughts that you think, and how that helps you with your life. So, no matter what you're going through, you can switch it up, but you do it intentionally, and you guys do it all the time. So when I was going through all the things that I've gone through, when my clients have gone through, I've dealt with people whose children have died, who lived in other countries and were almost killed, live everyday lives and have seen things happen to people that have been really tragic, and just go through big changes, because I'm a corporate psychic too. It's almost always the same. You deal with what's happening in the best way that you can, in a way that you know that you won't regret later. So it doesn't leave a bitter aftertaste. And then you focus on the things that make you feel good. You just focus on that. Even when other things are happening that aren't good, you don't discount it, you take care of it, but you focus on it. These are ways that you can completely change your life. If you lose a limb, it doesn't mean you grow a limb back. It means you learn to live without that limb, and you do things that can still help you get around. And everybody here has been through something tragic, unless you rolled in and you're 2 years old. Everybody's been through something tragic. Do you feel like there's a piece of you missing, or do you feel like you're still whole? Like you still hurt, you miss somebody, but you're still moving because you're here for a reason. You're put here for a reason, and your soul wants to speak to you. I'm going to get back to that quote that I channeled. Unless anybody else can repeat it, I have chemo brain. Now I can't find it. It has to do with being in touch with your soul. Because when you are connected to that higher part of you, everything you do is better, no matter what you're going to do. Everything is better. Does this sound like lollipop land, or can you relate to this? Because I'm certainly not standing here that I have not had a perfect life. But I love people, and love is really the only real thing that we take from this side to the next is love. Are we responsible for the things that we've done? Absolutely. But it's to help us grow our love. You should hear what people say about the other side. The more you live with an open heart, and the more decisions you make with that open heart, still protecting yourself, the higher your vibration goes. The higher your vibration goes, the better you feel, the more you attract that same vibration, the more you're listening to your soul and your intuition is on fire. Some people reach it through being silly. Some people reach it simply through breath control or a combination. Some people listen to music. Some people do yoga. Some people take walks. Some people pray. Some people just read a good book. Whatever you do that makes you feel good raises your vibration. Unless it's hurting somebody, then it lowers your vibration. Do you hear that? When you're a medium, you hear stuff like that all the time. No matter what you're doing, you've got 18 dead people talking to you at once. Seriously. So if I ever seem spacey, I have news for you. Yes, and that. Okay, anybody have questions about any of this? Anybody want to share anything about this? Can anybody share something that says, yes, I've experienced that? Oh, I would be breaking code if I didn't say, when you feel good, it's a really positive thing. Otherwise, because you want to be sticky for the good instead of sticky for the icky. See how goofiness helps? Oh, my dad would be so proud. Questions?
Questions will make sure that we capture audio. I've got a question about intuition. One of the few books I've read from you about what was the title of it? Intuition, finding your own intuition or something?
The happy medium, speaking the language of intuition?
Yes. You said you can go read or do anything that makes you happy, but how can we better find that?
It's a great question. How can you better find it? So right here are your solar plexus. Your solar plexus dance when you're going to do something that feels good to your spirit. They dance. So think about right now, put your right hand right above your belly button, and think of something, close your eyes if you wish, and think of something that makes you feel really good, like something you've done that's made you feel really, really good, and feel how your body feels. Feel in that area how it feels. Feel if your heart starts to bounce around and like there's butterflies in your heart or the butterflies in your belly. When you make a decision that feels good to your spirit, that's where you're going to feel it. Now, other people might feel it also in other places, but this is where it begins. Does that make sense? And then you concentrate on your heart. When you start to do that, your insights start to grow. And you start to recognize that language of intuition. Your language is however that feels to you. Your butterflies feel different than my butterflies. So you pay attention when you get a good gut feeling about something, how you felt right before. What'd your body feel like? Next time you're about to do something, you get that same feeling, your intuition's talking to you. And our intuition, it is a language. Everybody speaks it a little differently, but we all have it. Everybody's intuitive. And everybody's mediumistic. Some maybe more than others, but you can work on it. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Would you please elaborate when you said, what are people saying about the other side? Or have you heard what people are saying about the other side?
That'd be the title of a good book. So
You can rephrase it.
I talk to dead people. I've talked to me my whole life, and I just recently, as in the last 40 years, started talking back. I'm shown pictures. It's not like some dead guy comes up to me and says, name's Ralph, was in a car accident, I had a chipped tooth. But I might see a car, I might see a tooth, and I might see somebody I know by the name of Ralph. Or I might hear Ralph, but the language is very different, right? Oh my God, stop jumping inside of me. That's rude. There are spirits that will show me what it's like on the other side for them. When a spirit comes in, and it's always in a very protected environment, I will see a picture of what they love to do. Now, I have clients from actually all over the globe. Some fly in to see me. A lot of times I do it virtually. Oftentimes, because here we are in Minnesota, right? If I'm reading somebody from Minnesota, guess what I see the spirit doing? Fishing. Or at a cabin, or gardening, outside, outside, outside. So their heaven is what makes them happy. That's their heaven. But before they get to that place, there's a period of raising their consciousness, and then there's that time where they review their life. The pictures I see is after the life review. Do you guys know what a life review is? Have you heard this? Where you review, you get to see your life on this giant screen and experience what you've done for people through their perspective, so you feel that love and you feel that joy. And then if you hurt somebody, whether you did it deliberately or not, you feel that. But it's not as a punishment. It's as an understanding for your spirit. Oh, I did this not knowing that this would happen to this person. So I see that, but mostly I see this beautiful, oftentimes beautiful place. Now, there are people who do some really nasty things. Think Hitler. He wouldn't be fishing because he can't raise his vibration to get there because it was so low to start out with. So what you do on this plane is a big indication of where you're going on the next. Not to be afraid. It's like the more you raise your vibe, the higher you go. But it's not, I've never seen anybody be punished. I just haven't. Next. This gentleman. Wait, I'm not supposed to say that. This person.
Thank you. We started out this morning talking about intention and the importance of intention. And I've been really frustrated with my own life. And hopefully other people, this will maybe speak to them too, but I have this intention of raising my vibration and just really attracted to spiritual growth and stuff. And it's so easy in this world to get distracted by the worldly things and get off course.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think I know for myself, I need to surround myself with people with the same intention or vibe, or maybe.
Can I just interrupt you for 1
Yeah.
second? Because if it comes to me, I need to say it, sorry. Yes, surrounding yourself with people like this, you're exactly right. But you see, you have to get there inside of yourself. If you're not able to come here, because there's not like this going on, you think of this. Mm-hmm. And you put yourself in a place where you can feel that joy and that relief and that love. And then it creates it inside of you. Because when things are going on outside of us that are it's a strange time in the world, but you're here. And the universe said, you're here to help make things better. Mm-hmm. So the more you radiate a goodness, whatever goodness you can reach, the more that comes to you. So it's not just surrounding yourself, it's being that person.
Mm-hmm. Kind of creating our own personal vortex.
Inside of yourself. Have you ever been in a crowd of not happy people and you're like, how can I bring myself joy right now? Get your feet into the ground, feel the earth, admire something about the earth, then start remembering things that have brought you joy, and you will be lifted higher and higher and higher. There are people that go to funerals and are lifted very high. Even though they're mourning, they're still up there And then they can touch with the person that's crossed over. Go ahead, sorry.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Does that make sense? Like, does it sound really too woo-woo, or do you get what I'm saying? Like, you just doing it within yourself, and it's not that you have to reach this nirvana, just a less crummy place than you were in. That's the best. I mean, wouldn't that look pretty on a quote? The less crummy place. But it's true. You reach a less icky place. That's very Minnesota, by the way. Is it icky or yucky? I always say this here. Both? It's both. Icky, yucky, I like it. These are good questions. Because you guys came here to be elevated, which is great. Coming to places like this is amazing. All the things that there's offered here, and I love it here, and thank you for inviting me. You can reach it inside of yourself, too. Water is an amazing thing. Mountains are an amazing thing. Watching a caterpillar move, saving a frog, doing little things, picking up somebody's garbage that just flew out of the garbage can or just is on the ground, and wash your hands afterwards. These are things that raise your vibration and make you more conscious. Because the reason I love to talk about living intentionally is because it makes you more conscious. And the more conscious you are, the higher your vibration goes. The higher your vibration goes, the more intuitive and happy you are. Do we have another question?
We may. We're coming over here.
He's just sitting there radiating
Don't
his
mind
goodness.
me running around.
This is, I don't know, maybe a weird question. I have had experiences, but it took me a long time to realize that they were dead people talking to me, you know, that whole intuition thing. But you said you've been here, they've been there your whole life. What was your first experience where you actually, I think part of it's accepting it and responding to it, and I have a very good example of that in my life. But I'm going to just ask you, what was it? You said, you know, I don't know that I probably had been hearing him my whole life, but I don't know that I actually, it took me a long time to recognize
Well,
it.
so it took me a long time to understand what it was, but I used to watch my ponytail go up in the air, and I heard people say things, and I could feel people in the room, but I couldn't see them, and it always creeped me out. You could never talk about ghosts in front of me as a young person. I literally freaked out.
Okay.
But one of my first really conscious memories is with my aunt and uncle. I think my Uncle Benny died first, and they had a house of tchotchkes. Do you guys know what tchotchkes are? Little figurines from all over the world. They had the most beautiful glass figurines and some lovely things from travel. And my grandfather, it was his sister, he thought they were really poor, and he gave them money. They had so much money, but they didn't live that way. But I loved them. Their house smelled like mothballs, and I remember going in, and my mom said, you can pick out a couple of tchotchkes. I still have them. I have like 100. If you guys want tchotchkes, let me know. And I heard my aunt and uncle say, give this to Jeff. Now give this to your mother. Set that side for Jimmy. Call Pat and ask her if she wants. Like, I heard them guide me to which is which. So here's this little girl going, okay, Mom, here's who's supposed to get what. She's just looking at me. That was a conscious connection with people I loved. And that I didn't mind, but the people I didn't know, I didn't like. But they were older than me, and I was taught to respect my elders, so I was respectful until one time, and I knew then that I could speak with spirits at this point. I was 18, living on 25th and Grand in not a perfectly lovely building with no locks on the windows in the basement. And I'm walking around, I've told this story here. Literally, my phone kept ringing, and I heard like a laugh on the phone. And one day, and I'm so out of my body, no drugs, hard time getting back in my body, tragic childhood, trying to get back in my body. And all of a sudden, I'm on the ceiling. And there's someone walking around in my body. And it wasn't me. It was a dead drunk guy. And I was pissed off. And I was taught never, ever, ever swear. Ever. You're never supposed to swear. Oh, did I swear. I opened up my mouth, I would make a truck driver blush. And I popped right back into my body. Now, is swearing the thing to get yourself in your body? For me, it was, because I meant business. But that's when I was like, okay, I got to do something about this. Because they're taking over. And I don't understand as much of this as I really need to understand. And I had been studying it, but I was so perceptive and so open, I didn't know how to protect my energy. And I thought, I'm going to learn to protect my energy, and then I'm going to teach people to do it too. And there you have it.
Can I ask one question?
I think a lot of people feel spirit energy.
Or somebody else?
You probably feel spirit energy more consciously than a lot of people, but I think a lot of us have felt spirit energy, especially if we've lost somebody. But it is around, it's everywhere. But you want to be protected so you only get the good stuff.
Well, that's, okay, so that's, I guess part of my question is the stranger piece of it, because one of my main experiences with this is my sister died, and she was a complex human being. She was well-loved and well-hated, whatever, but just a complex, always probably on the verge of mental health. Anyway, but a great sister, great aunt, great whatever, died kind of in a bad way. And she, when I was on the treadmill, going the next day to Ohio to bury her, I had this vision, and it was her, and it was like, my brother Tom, who is not good with complex, he's very black and white about his opinions about stuff. I knew he would do the eulogy. I said, she said to me, you need to do the eulogy. And I did it on the plane, on the, at the visitation, which my mother was, I never realized how much it was a reflection on my mother that my sister died before. It was just it was a really hard time. It was a good time, but a hard time for our family. And just collected notes about her and had ideas. And people said it was one of the best eulogies they ever heard. And it was just a honoring of her, and it was just like, if I wouldn't have had that thing, I don't think I would have pushed for that, type deal. And it was so, but the stranger, and she still talks to me, as my younger sister says, because Mary Beth she never not said her opinion. So when we were having problems with my family in the most recent years, my little sister said to me, we need a little Mary Beth right now. Somebody needs to speak up. So it's always kind of a fun, but the stranger piece is what I like, hearing other people that you don't know people,
So first I want to say this, that you bring up your sister as a way, or somebody did to say, as we need her, is a way of honoring her memory. And there's a saying of my people, may your memory be a blessing. May their memory be a blessing. That's blessing her memory. Not ignoring the other stuff, but blessing the memory. And there's this love, and that raises their vibration. That makes their heaven even better. So beautifully done. I got to the point where, again, taught not to swear. My energy was the middle finger out. Like, you better not. And then I learned to be more peaceful and to be in such a good place that they weren't attracted to me anymore. They just weren't. And if I feel a darker energy, because I'm a medium, I can feel it all the time, but they're not as drawn to me. I recognize it and I keep moving. I don't talk to it. I don't engage with it. It's not my business. What is it my daughter always says? Not my monkey, not my circus, or something like that. It's on that line, like it's not mine. And just because you pick up on something does not mean it's yours. Very powerful thing for anybody consciously insightful to know. Just because you pick up on it doesn't mean it's yours. And you want to filter what that is through that raised vibration, through feeling good, through very consciously doing things, consciously thinking things, consciously living, protects your energy from that. And if you pick up on it, like I've done ghost investigations with Twin Cities Live, we're going to do another one for October. At first I was like, no, because those are like earthbound spirits, the ones that have the few that haven't gone into the light. I've met the nicest dead people. And then I pray a lot. I pray a lot. I meditate and I open up to hear their message, but then I close down and wash my energy afterwards so I don't carry it with me. And that's the important thing. Have you ever gone into a gorgeous place, a gorgeous house, a gorgeous hotel, a gorgeous restaurant, and you could feel something maybe not so great? Enjoy what you can of it, and when you walk out of there, imagine all that energy that's not yours sweeping off your body, and you walk out the door and you leave it there. And that's a way to protect yourself. I write a lot about this in my books, and I blog. So look at my blog. I write a lot about protection, because that nobody was teaching this when I was growing up. Nobody. People were totally willing to help open psychics up, but nobody ever taught protection. Ever. Ever. When my kids got old enough to need protection in a different way, I would make jokes. I have taught you to protect yourself your whole life. This is another level. But protect yourself, right? You have to protect your energy. You really do. You have to protect your energy. And if you want to share your energy, that's great, but it's your energy to share. You don't have to share it. But know that you radiate. You radiate this vibe no matter what, no matter where you are, no matter what's going on for you, you're radiating a vibe. What do you want to radiate? Do you want to radiate love so you get more of that back? Or do you want to radiate yuck? And if you feel yucky, that doesn't mean that you have to radiate yucky. You can just say to yourself, I feel yucky. I'm sure people can feel it, but it's no one's fault. I'm just working on something. Or you can say to your spouse, it's your fault. And then you have to work it out and realize it's not. But you can talk about it with somebody you love, but not general strangers. It's not their fault. Even people that you don't agree with, that's their stuff. They're all responsible for what they're doing. You're responsible for what you're doing. Be conscious of what you're doing, and be conscious to be a light in the world. Every single one of us can make a difference. Truly, honestly, make a difference. Even though it's a little teeny spark, it's something, because if everybody knows that spark of love, that connection, that we're all connected, no matter our beliefs, that we all are connected through love, through the universe, imagine how much brighter this world can be and is. Well, I have a hard time sending love to people that I think are unconsciously or consciously doing harm. But I also can see them as a little child and know something happened there. So I go to that place. Like, I don't agree with what you're doing. I think it's not good for our world. Something happened to you as a child, and I'm sorry that happened for you. And that in that way, I'm not hating them, which just feeds that energy. Did you know that? And I'm acknowledging whatever has gone on for them created what that is, and everybody else that's feeding into it. I don't want any part of it, so I'm recognizing that space of it. And then I turn my eyes to somebody brighter. Even if it's not the brightest, not my kind of bright, brighter. That's what I do. That's what I do. Yes. It is my understanding that there are some that are not returned, like Hitler, like dismantled, if you will.
And we've got time for one more quick one.
Yeah, okay. So this summer, we celebrated my dad's 100th birthday.
Oh.
And he's doing well, living at home, and right before his birthday, his younger sister, who was 94, went into hospice care. And so she was in hospice when we all came for his birthday. And, that worked out interestingly, because here we all are to say goodbye to her, but we're celebrating my dad's life. And we want him to stay, but we also want him to transition when it's his right time. And it was just, I came home from the celebration, and I actually had a reading with somebody else, and she said, you picked up all these souls at the hospice. You went into the hospice and you picked up these souls, and they came home with you.
Oh, vacuum.
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 Yeah.
Imagine yourself vacuuming that up. Say your full name to yourself, press your feet into the ground, listen to yourself breathe. And you know those puffer fish, Imagine you're a puffer fish and all those people, those spirits fly off of you.
Okay.
Right.
So part of my question here, too, is that with my father, because he now is the last living person and the oldest at 100 in a month now. Is there anything, special to do in supporting him?
Yes. When you went to honor his sister, you showed him it's okay to cross over, and that this is a part of life. We're honoring her and we're celebrating your life. That's part of what you do, is to show him your love and your joy that he's here and that you know he's going to take his next step at some point. We all are. And it's okay. It's all okay. A life well lived. Because your fear, he's not afraid. You are.
I am.
And that's all right, because you don't want to lose him. But, you know, in some ways you won't lose him. You're sensitive. You can feel that energy. And what a beautiful thing he's showing you, to live his life this way, where he's so loved. And remember, may his memory be a blessing when he does cross over, means do the goodness that he would do in his name. In his name. Like, if he loved to give to homeless, then you give to homeless in his name. His memory is a blessing. Being kind to strangers, if he was extra kind to strangers, being careful, that's a blessing. You're making it a blessing. His memory. Do it now. Show him what a blessing his memory is now. That you live your life thinking about what he's done for you, and that you live your life with his love in your heart, and that is a blessing. That's what you can do. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
This has been wonderful, by the way. Thank you so much for coming. Very, very much for coming. I appreciate every single one of you. Oh, I know you said something, and I promised I would do this. I'm going to talk really fast because I know you guys probably have to get out of here. I do have this series I've been working on for, 5 years. Okay, maybe more. And then COVID and cancer, and now it's coming out. So every week you'll get a quote from me, a video from me about intuition and spirituality, access to questions you can ask me, and I'm going to answer them on a podcast, a lot of them. And then every 3 months, I'm going to do a live virtual reading, and if you're part of it, you all can be part of it. And I'm going to read people like gallery-style readings, and it's going to be so fun. And I have a new book coming out, but that's a different thing. But please keep in touch with me. Like, look at my website, join me on social media, because I'd love for your energy to be part of it. Okay? I did it. I talked about it.
Yay! Thank you so much, Jodi.
Thank you.
Oh, I sure appreciate it. So much more to talk about, and Jodi's schedule pending. Certainly stick around and enjoy hanging out, find stuff in the garden room, and enjoy. This is what it's about, is opening up these discussions and having fun. And I tell you, Jodi, I can't help but think of a song. I'm not a big fan, but the song Shake It Off, where you just kind of feel these things falling off of you like that, whether it's metaphysical or whether it's the people in reality here, that's the wrong word, but in the physical, and just shake it off. I love it. I had a few other things. We talked about music and Ed Gary, and we are hoping to have some more singers here. Last week at the band shell, we had a preview of some of that, and a small choir, which will be kind of another addition to our services. And do go check out the TikTok and all that stuff. Go down to the farmer's market. It's right there. Good food and for you here in Linden Hills. This is the time when I would remind you that Lake Harriet is funded by your support and your offerings. Our building, our upkeep, everything that we do is supported by you, and we invite you to be a partner. Go online, sign up and become a member. You'll get, is it a weekly or so email with all of our events and all of our stuff. You can also donate via Venmo electronically. I find that convenient. You'll see that in the thing. And again, welcome. Stay after.
You can have it.
And right now we'll do our offering.
All you gotta do is just reach out and grab it. If you want it, you can have it. All you got to do is just reach right out and grab it. Step on up. Step into your power. Step on up. Step into your power, child. Step on up. Step into your power. Step on up. Step into your power, child. Now listen to me. All you need, you already given to you on the day that you were born. Anything that your heart can dream, you can make it reality. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up, step into your power, child. Step on up, step into your power. Step on up.
Thank you. I might ask you to raise your hands and repeat after me. God's perfect love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Amen. Thank you. Now, as we like to do at Lake Harriet, we're going to make a small circle. We're all going to join hands and connect our energies. And Jodi is going to send us off with something wonderful for the day. Just make a wee little circle right here. We can cut across wherever we'd like or not. We're going to have to join it in the middle. Right there. Stretch it out.
You smell so good. You have great hair. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, press your feet into the ground a little bit. Feel the energy flowing in and through you and the connection that you have with everyone in this room, and may it radiate out into the week, and may the love in our heart act as a protection for all the things around us that don't belong to us, so that it doesn't reach us, and may the love in our heart add protection to everybody that we love. Say, I am love and light in action. I feel the light. I see the light. I am the light. Thank you very much. That's my favorite one.
Look at it all the time.